my line clip because this is really telling in terms of how famous Joe DiMaggio was. Just his voice, how famous his voice was because of these Mr. Coffees and whatnot.
So in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different pattern of questioning. You ask one question in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin it all with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you a living American man?
Yes.
Are you in the theatrical field?
No. 1 down of 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, nobody's ever had a hand like that but Eisenhower and Monroe. Are you in the sports field?
In a way.
Might be out of season by now. Are you a member of a pennant-winning baseball team?
No, I'm not now. Oh, steady now. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you a Yankee?
What?
A Yankee?
Yes. Mr. Allen.
Are you an outfielder?
Yes.
And probably the fanciest one of his time that has recently been admitted to the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Baseball Fame, Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio. Oh, Joe, that now just did us in, you know.
Yes, well, John, all I can say is I was talking to the lady out there, and she was telling me that for 5 years you've been trying to get me on the show, and I'm very surprised they got me so fast.
Oh, go ahead and sit down.
All right, well that's, and there'll be another Mr. Coffee commercial. Time is moving on here. We want to invite Lara DeLaney up because something big happened last Tuesday night. Can you see to get up here?
You're welcome.
We've seen.
And now you buy
We've had our coffee for the night. You had a very active fall here because of the election, and then followed up by the announcement last week. Why don't you just take the mic and tell us what you're doing and how people can help out and how we want to carry on beyond tonight.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, and thank you also, Harriet, for the plug earlier for the Hometown Hero Project, which we kind of kicked off, launched at the Centennial Celebration for Joe's 100th birthday. We did it last week because this is the Thanksgiving week. We thought we'd get a bigger crowd last week, so we did the Centennial Celebration, which I think was a terrific success because the goal of that was really to fundraise for the Jolt and Joe restoration. That's the Jolt and Joe is the boat that the Yankees gave to Joe DiMaggio in 1949, which he subsequently gave to the city of Martinez, which fell into disrepair and is now being fully restored by local carpenters.
Lovingly restored, really.
Beautifully museum quality restored. They needed a little bit more money. They estimated between $10,000 and $15,000 to finish the restoration. So we figured we'd throw this party to honor Joe on his 100th birthday and finish up the fundraising.
And kick off.
And kick off what we're calling the Hometown Hero Project. So it was a great success. We raised over $16,000 thanks to the generosity of the community. That night, Shell contributed $4,100 in recognition of 1941, which was a terrific year for Joe, and his hitting streak was in 1941. So we had a great success, and now we want to continue on with these recognition kind of projects that we want to do for Joe in this Hometown Hero Project overall. The goal of that project really is to put the boat in a museum, and we know that that's a long-term goal that will take a lot of work and a lot of fundraising to get to. And in the meantime, while we're working towards that goal, we'd like to do other things, such as the creation of an oral history project,
like we were doing right here.
Exactly. I'm sure Harriet would be one of the premier featured interviewees for that project. We'd like to capture all the stories that people still have of Joe that are either related or we're friends of him, and we'd like to capture that and put that in a museum. We'd also like to develop a walking tour of all the famous Joe DiMaggio related sites here in Martinez, including the place he was born, where he had Christmas with Marilyn before they got married. There's also the mural that we have downtown that has Joe DiMaggio in it. There's the Joe DiMaggio ball fields, and then hopefully, will culminate at the Joe DiMaggio Museum, part of that walking tour. So that's one of the projects we'd also like to develop. There's also been discussion of creating a statue, a bronze statue of Joe, and having
Bronze?
that. We'd love to have, I think at this point.
I sent you an email, but I'm sure you didn't see it, of this guy in Mendocino who does this incredible, and he comes and spends the time in the community but he does it out of stone. He involves the community. I'll talk to you more about that.
Fantastic.
But these are all ideas that are
Right.
bubbling up.
That's
The
right.
community, we're asking the community, what do we have to show for this? We honor, because the federal government honors John Muir, and he should be, but here's another
Right.
guy.
Yeah, and in addition to the statue, we'd like to do a mural. The Water Storage Moving and Storage Company has a big warehouse building that people approaching on the Amtrak train can see as they approach. And Mr. Waters would like to have a welcome to Martinez, the home of Joe DiMaggio and John Muir mural placed on his building wall, and we'd like to do something like that. So we figure there are a lot of things that we can do to really honor Joe DiMaggio, the legacy of the Italian community here in Martinez, and just celebrate one of our heroes here. So this is just kind of the launch of that. We'll be moving forward to try to establish a board of directors very soon and establish a nonprofit. We do have a website, just the very basics of a website it's up and running right now, called Martinez Hero Project, so that's already up on the website for people.
.org.
.org,
Yeah.
right, martinezhero.org. And we just want to get interested folks in the community to sign up and show if they'd like to participate in any of these projects. Just show some interest, we can keep them informed, and then establish committees and move forward to implementing these things as time goes on.
We're going to break for an intermission before we show Quoting Roy Jeans, and you'll be out in the lobby to be able to get people to sign up for that
Yeah,
too.
love to.
And of course, we want to carry on as we do in this process here with more Joe as we go, and try to stay informed in all this. But we're really happy that you carried the ball there, and we're glad to have you back on council.
Thank you so much.
Because it would have been hard to do it without them. I think we have a go out, which is actually me telling you what's coming up. There's a lot goes on in this room, and it's really good energy, and there's a lot of diversity. There are radio plays written for this room, and the writer is what? Where's Mark? Are you in the room, Mark? No.
Bill Chessman's the writer.
Yeah, and he's what, like within a half a mile of this building?
I'm not sure.
He's nearby, and they come in here and they do radio, but they don't broadcast it yet. Well,
He records it.
he records it, but they haven't.
And one of his shows has been on the broadcasting.
Okay, but it's Nancy, and it's getting started, and this is a great studio room for radio studio, TV studio, plus theater live audience. So December 6th, we'll show the clip. Janae Bombardier, who is out front, will be up here a night of song. We've told you about the comedy night coming up. There's a little, I won't tell you all this stuff because there's stuff in the lobby about all the shows coming up here, a variety of things, people from out of town. So be a little curious about what goes on here, wander in, and we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and show new footage, because 2 new things happened to us. So Quoting Roy Jeans has been updated, and we'll do that, and that'll be an hour and 18 minutes, and we'll be out of here. So we'll be back here in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much for your patience.